Good day, everyone. This is GameJunkyard, and I hope you guys are doing well. It is finally time for my first ever review on YouTube. It is out after months and months of waiting. We won. It is finally here. We won, boys. We won. And yeah, it's time for a review of the new Cheekface album titled It's Sorted, released in January this year. So Cheekface are an indie band from Los Angeles, California. And when I say indie, I totally mean it in every sense of the word because these guys are like completely independent, no record label, no nothing. It's just them, their own budget, and I guess the power of their friendship. They make this borderline garage-esque rock music, which is called like geek rock, power pop. It's full of this dark, dry sense of humor, and it's presented in a very childish, childlike, playful kind of way through the instrumentation. And yeah, their obvious influences are they might be giants, and especially Cake. And these influences show up even more than ever before on this new record of theirs. But before I get into this, though, I want to talk about their previous record released in 2022 titled Too Much to Ask. A great record that was full of dark themes ranging from personal issues to mental health issues to bad governance to failing friendships, and on top of that, the brain rot of modern day social media. It also talked about bizarre social constructs and societal expectations, and even more so is the case with this new album of theirs, which I'll argue is a slight improvement on the previous record. We get more catchy sing-along pop rock tunes, more great choruses, more great verses, more funny lyrics, and more great guitar solos and stuff like that. It could unfortunately be argued, however, that these guys are painting themselves into a corner. Like, this is kind of what you expect from the band at this point, but still, it is still great. And they're continuing to do their thing. The album begins with an immediate tone setter and immediate hitter called The Fringe, which is about not conforming to societal standards, not following societal expectations, just doing your own thing. And it's kind of a meta commentary as the band is well aware of their unconventional lifestyle and how their idea of success isn't bound by society standards. It's got funny verses, it is a witty tone setter, and instrumentally also, instrumentally it follows a sort of like dance punk kind of pattern and great short little guitar riffs. And towards the end, there's a great guitar solo as well. It is a pretty good song, pretty good intro. The second track, Popular 2, is one of my favorite songs on the album. It was released as a single last year, much like The Fringe, because it's just so darn catchy. It's so funny and it deals with this kind of concept about the future not being as good as we think it would be, especially considering all these digital surveillance systems that have come up and they're being deployed in neighborhoods. The song is delivered from the perspective of this character who is so obsessed with either being alone or if he's not going to be alone, then he wants to be annoying. He wants to be a nuisance in his neighborhood and he wants to use these surveillance systems to his advantage. This character flies his drone above people's private properties and he even mentions his neighbor doing literal everyday activities but still showing up on TV. And similarly, we get more catchy instrumentals and vocals and funny lyrics on the next track. I'm continuing to do my thing. And this track has that one part where he says, waiting in the parking lot with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Our protagonist is hanging out with chaos, doing unusual things, once again saying fuck you to society and just being a nuisance. Unfortunately, I think that the hook is kind of repetitive and not that interesting. And like the band's formula is becoming a little more apparent by this point in the track list, like chorus, verse, simple structures, and but at least they're still able to craft solid tunes with generally good hooks. The next song, Grad School, basically just is cake. It's the most cake the band has ever sounded because it incorporates these horn sections and almost rap-like deliveries from Greg as well. Fortunately, though, this is a good thing because these are two of the best songs on the album, and Grad School is one of the best hooks on the entire project. It is also lyrically striking because it details these generally awful things like there's somebody's social security number being leaked on the dark web and people are being addicted to social media and podcasts and literally almost killing themselves because somebody in the podcast told them to. But it's delivered in such a nonchalant and almost joyful way that is kind of creepy. Even more so is the case with Life in a Bag, which is like almost hip hop and also has one of the best hooks that the band has ever done. And it is lyrically even more unsettling because it describes life in America, but once again, it's got a jokey tone, it's got dark humor, almost as if it's trying to soften the blow. The tune is infectious though, it is an enjoyable song to listen to despite the lyrics. Although we do get a bit of a dud in the track list because Trophy Hunting at the Zoo is just so short, and I don't think it accomplishes anything all that special, to be honest, because it's so like one note in a way. Even though it's only 1 minute long, like I just don't understand why this was placed on the album at all. Even though I do like the chaotic descriptions of buying art at the Louvre or trophy hunting at the zoo, as the title says, which is also taking the phrase New Year, New You a bit too seriously. One plus point I will give the track though is that the topic it brings up about time and dates, like brings up the fact that these are pretty arbitrary, which is something that grad school also mentions. And this kind of nihilistic tone is in the background of this album on every single song. There were changes in the hardcore scene, which has a solid hook and pretty solid bridge too, because it goes, I hate to send mixed messages, I love to send mixed messages. The rest of the lyrics focus on maintaining your own unique individuality, but in a sort of like over the top way, because the lyrics detail these characters all trying too hard to be edgy in a way almost, because there's a part where that goes, what's the opposite of optimal? I think it's liminal. Let's get liminal, bro, we're liminal. I do wish the song did something new instrumentally though, because it does get a little repetitive. Largest Muscle, also a great single release last year, has a pretty catchy melody, although it's also got one of the best hooks as well. It is lyrically concerned with doing good deeds, even though once again the nihilistic tone is still there. Like Greg is just encouraging people to keep doing good things, be appreciative of who they are, even though it's still important to be wary of the fact that sometimes not all that you wish is going to come true. Sometimes not all of your deeds are going to pay off, but that doesn't mean you should stop doing them. A real fucking shame though, because the last two songs on the LP are not as hopeful. They're the penultimate track, Don't Stop Believing, is a change of style, and it talks about the fact that sometimes you just have to stop believing in certain things because they're just not going to happen, or it's too late. Like you just have to accept that things are far from perfect, and it's okay to be sad about that. But at least Greg still acknowledges that you should not totally give up, yeah, because once again, largest muscle. Some lyrics that stick out are the lies come free, the truth's behind a paywall, and I live in a society, which is kind of corny, but okay, and everyone cool will die, everyone weird will also die. What lives on is the destruction caused by market economics. My biggest problem with the song, however, is the instrumental is just kind of boring. It's pretty by the numbers, and it's almost kind of like generic white boy ballad instrumentally. I hate to say that, but yeah, it just gives off those vibes. And the mixing is, put it bluntly, kind of awful. Unfortunately, Greg's vocals pop out way too much. They're kind of ear piercing when he hits those droning notes. Thankfully, though, Plastic is the best song on the album, and I think the best song that Cheekface has ever made, because fantastic hook, fantastic guitar melodies, and excellent lyrics. So my final thoughts on the project: I think it's a slight improvement on Too Much to Ask. Instrumentally pleasing, more sharp, witty, more detailed as well. I do think I do think that if they mash the styles of this album and the previous record together on their next project, I think they can make something truly fantastic. I do think that they can top this pretty easily. Yeah, they still do have that DIY cozy homemade feel to their songs, so it's not like the most professionally made music you'll ever hear, but for what it is unique, and Cheekface are doing really good so far. I'm saying I'm feeling a light decent 8. on this project. So yeah, that was my first attempt at a YouTube review. It's obviously not that well made of a video. As you can see, like my camera quality is pretty bad, but that's just unfortunate. But I still hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Anything I can do to improve my presentation or my style, anything, please leave it down in the comments below. Sorry if I look bad or something. That's just unfortunate, and that's not true anyway. Also tell me in the comments below what do you think of this project, or just tell me how much this video sucks. Leave a like on the video or leave a dislike if you want. Report the video for harassment or bullying, or spam or whatever. Block me, or you can just subscribe and hit the bell. I hope to do these reviews more consistently next time. I hope the next video does not take this long to make. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.